I think realistically, the more sensible thing to do is stay and talk to Washington. But I'm actually going to go talk to Holmes because I have no idea what he's going to say. So, sorry, Washington. I'll catch up with you later.
My vision is more important. Let's follow home. I'll follow you, sir. Mr. Washington, I hope to speak with you at greater length on another occasion. Emily, please excuse me, but I would like to speak to Sir Home. I shall see you later.
My friend, I hope
Christ,
our
it's
dear
bright in here.
Giovanni is well.
The troubles in France have fatigued him, but he will recover slowly. Do not fear. He apologizes for remaining in Rome. The voyage was too much for him.
And right he was too. The mildness of the Mediterranean.
Where is the food?
Come, sit down and have something to eat, my friend. You look rather pale. Excuse me, sir. I have been neglecting my duty. I haven't introduced myself. Sir Gregory Home, an old friend of Lord Mortimer's.
A real pleasure, sir.
You who must be well used to the court of France. How do you find this peaceful little haven?
Charming if I hadn't come here for disturbing reasons.
Yes, I heard the news. What a story.
Indeed. I wanted to ask you. Would you have any information about the disappearance of my mother?
Very little, I'm afraid, my young friend. Your mother came at the invitation of Lord Mortimer. Then one fine day, we couldn't find her anywhere.
That's it?
As I said, I don't know very much. Lord Mortimer had the entire area searched immediately. We found no clue as to her disappearance. But I am convinced that as soon as Lord Mortimer becomes available, he will explain the situation.
Thank you for your answers, Sir Home. But I beg your pardon. I get the impression I know you. Have we met? Except in my dreams, of course.
Not that I remember, young man. Perhaps you're mistaking me for another member of the Chamber of Lords. What with the wig and the powder, it wouldn't be the first time.
No, you were definitely the one I saw threatening my mother. I thought... Never mind. It'll come back to me. Would you allow me one last question, sir? I don't want to take up all your time.
Please, go ahead. What do you want to know?
None of these questions actually seem that useful. She came here because Mortimer requested it. Guess we go with this one.
Sir, do you know Emily Hillsborough?
Oh, Madame la Duchesse. Of course. It was I who invited her to the island.
Do you know of any link between her and my mother?
Not really, no. They may well have met at the court of King George, but I can't be sure about that.
No dispute between them, then?
Not to my knowledge, no.
And even if Duchess Hillsborough is a complex woman to understand, I honestly can't imagine her in a conflict with the famous Sara de Ricci.
No!
Elizabeth! I should have insisted that you rest in your room.
Do you want me to call someone?
Let me handle this. I'm used to this kind of thing.
Thank you, Mr. Denchet.
Miss, can you hear me?
Leave me.
See, getting that vigilance is already coming in handy.
Her breathing is becoming stable and... her heart rate, too.
How on earth could you know that?
Pale complexion, thin, broken nails, an enormous scar on her temple, tattoos on her hands. I don't know what happened to you, Missy, but it looks like you've been through hell. Can you tell me something about her? The dizzy spell is harmless, but her general condition is frankly alarming. You seem to know her. What is she suffering from?
I don't know exactly, but her father sent her to us in the hope that she would recover all her faculties. It would appear she suffers from episodes of dementia.
Is she aggressive?
Sometimes, but only toward herself. She has never hit out at anyone else, I can assure you of that. She wasn't like that this morning. Something must have upset her.
That's one way to put it. The poor girl is exhausted, but that's not the cause of her problem.
Are you all right, Elizabeth? Do you feel any better?
When did she arrive?
4 days ago.
Okay. My mother had already gone missing. She's just regained consciousness and she immediately reaches for her brooch? I don't know exactly what it means to her, but obviously it's got to be something important.
Are you all right, Elizabeth? You gave us quite a fright.
Take it easy, miss.
Let me. I just need to get back to my room.
Of course, my dear. Go ahead.
You saw it, didn't you?
Pardon me?
I segni della bestia.
The sign of the beast. He's referring to the tattoo on her hand. Yes, Your Eminence, I saw it. I don't know what the young woman has been through, but she is marked for life.
It is the least one can say. You know the meaning, don't you?
Protection against the evil one.
It is a rare practice reserved for cases of possession, Louis. I have seen it during exorcism.
Gentlemen, it's getting late. It is time for everyone to go to bed. It has been a long day.
So he thinks that she's been possessed.
It's all the more delicate.
I'll see what I can do, but the case I'm on at the moment might well leave me with very few opportunities. Well, I am impressed with all this splendor.
But don't spend too much time with Mr. Washington, my dear, or you'll lose your pretty accent. You seem to be intrigued by that statue.
Absolutely. It is remarkable.
Oh, it's naughty to tell lies. Bet my life that you were talking about something totally different from the decoration of the manor. But to find out what, I should have stayed with them. Too bad.
Lord Mortimer is fond of atypical works of art. I won't disguise the fact that I find it all a little megalomaniacal. But I must say, he does have some outstanding pieces.
Sir Holmes, who was that young lady with you?
Elizabeth Adams, Mr. President. She would have liked to have stayed with us, but the poor thing is exhausted.
Elizabeth Adams?
Miss Adams is here to rest. You have perhaps already come across her in the corridors. She arrived a few days ago.
I perceived her, but we weren't introduced.
Rest assured, she is not here for the same reasons as yourselves. Consequently, I'm counting on your indulgence. On that note, it's very late. You must be exhausted. The servant will accompany you to your rooms.
Ladies, gentlemen, I bid you all good night. Mr. President, Your Eminence, Duchess, you have the same rooms as usual. You, Monsieur de Richet, will find your room at the end of the corridor.
Well, my friends, I am bone tired. I am off to my bed. See you in the morning.
Good night, sir. I shall do likewise.
Louis, I shall see you in the morning. Sleep well.
Good night. See you tomorrow. Oh, man. It's been quite a day. Right. Where
I wonder if
is
you
my
can knock
room?
on their doors. No. Be a bit creepy, wouldn't it? Alright, let's go find our room. Napoleon Bonaparte.
So
He
Jacques
sounds
Perrot?
French as well. I must say, the one criticism I do have of this game is I really...
leaves
Oh
out
yeah,
of
so
normal
as I was saying earlier,
encyclopedia.
sometimes it's really worth just running around looking for the little hidden
Golden
bonuses.
Decorum guide.
One of the main criticisms I have about this game, and it's not even a criticism, is I really wish you could change Louis' outfit, just because it gets a little bit boring looking at the same suit over and over. Devil's Fawn. Okay. We still haven't found our room.
Great. Honey. Monseigneur, His Eminence Cardinal Piaggi. Huh, that's me. Right. So what shall I do with this letter? It might be about my mother's disappearance. But if I open it, I'll be betraying Piaggi's trust. What should I do?
To me, that personally seems like way too much of like a, hey guys, like it seems like too much of a easy opportunity for the game to throw at you and then not have him check on it later. So to me, it seems so obvious that he would ask for it later that we're gonna leave it closed.
Damn. Can't wait to open it, but I gave my word to Piaggi, so too bad. I'll wait until I hand it to Mother. Wow. Nice room. Mortimer sure doesn't do things halfway.
So I'm just trying to figure out what's really been going on at the moment. So at the start, me and my mum were being beat up for a book that we had because we're part of the Golden Order. But then the guy they sent we defeated. So the mum then got invited to come here by Lord Mortimer, and then she's gone missing. So is Lord Mortimer after the book? I don't know. It's been so long since I played the game that I'm genuinely struggling to remember what's going on. Oh, gee, what? Ugh. Okay. I wonder if that's like a reference. I mean, okay, well, very clearly that's a Bible reference. Okay, so we found some water. I must say, one thing I do love about this game is the sheer attention to detail.
Inferno by Dante. Abandon hope, all ye who enter here. Lovely lectures Mortimer's giving to his guests. Very jolly. The conversion of St. Paul, St. Francis of Assisi in ecstasy, before superior voices.
Okay, we can't.
It always
open that.
amuses me to see how art gets used.
We'll
for
probably want to put some
propaganda
points into
purposes.
that. Subverge it at some point. Okay, so apparently we missed a clue about the mother on the docks. I'm fairly certain what that was there was a letter where you could get a little bit of information, but we didn't have the right skill for it. So if you do play the game, don't worry when it says failed. It's, you can, on some of the chapters, do everything, but, it's part of the enjoyment of the game is just playing it and, just experiencing it rather than trying to be a perfectionist. So we've leveled up a bunch since the previous episode, as it's the end of the chapter. So we need to put some points into something. As you can see, through conversation, we've, or like, I think picking up books and things like that, we've acquired some skills. So we have 4 points, which means we could level up one of these completely. Or we could... So that only needs 2, that only needs 1, that needs 3, that needs 2. And that needs 3. That needs 4. See, this is the one I really want to get up, but it needs a whole 4 points, which is really annoying. But, what I think is really important is you always want 1. Because to my understanding, if you have level 1 in the skill, you can still do all the activities for that skill. It just costs you a lot more points to do it. Whereas if you have 0 in that skill, you can't do it at all. So we could get manipulation. I think we'll leave that for now. Okay, so basically, do I want etiquette or do I want politics? Well, no, to be honest, it is only the 2nd chapter. So we can still use both of these because we have level 1. So I think what instead we'll do is we'll try and get some here. Science. Do we want to pick some locks? There's been I mean, to be fair, if we go back down to the docks, are we going to be able to open that lock if we do? Maybe. So I think what we'll do is we'll get 3 points in this. And then 1 in this. Because there's already been a few boxes that we haven't been able to open because we don't have this. And like I said before, having level 1 in this means that we can already use all of those skills. It's just going to cost more. So let's do that. Alright, so in the previous episode we picked up a bunch of books, and we now get to decide what books we want to read. So we need 2 more of these. So we can read The Rules of Civility and Decent Behaviour and get 1 etiquette, 1 to diversion, or 1 to science. We're actually going to go for etiquette now, I think. Because I think that's what we'll need the most. Oh yeah, you can only read 1, so that's what we'll need. That's what we'll need. That's the most immediate skill we're going to need. Character, talent, trait. Okay, let's do that.
Your turn? The servants are not very efficient.
De Richet can't be far away. They'll find her soon. Their search time is restricted, given that they must keep an eye on Adams.
I can take care of her, you know.
Yes. Well, in any case, I do thank you for bringing her to the island.
From what I've understood, the search of de Richet's room hasn't turned up any results.
Not yet, no. But we've put her son in there. Perhaps he'll find something.
That might come in handy.
Louis grows impatient at not yet having met the famous Lord Mortimer.
He will meet him tomorrow.
Oh, what a pity to lose a knight at the start of the game. Are you waiting for someone?
A young French soldier.
During our game of chess?
Don't worry, Gregory. The game won't disappear. I'll have one of my men escort you back.
Don't trouble yourself. I know my way out.
Ah, good evening, gentlemen. Please forgive me for this late hour.
It is never too late, and we have much to discuss. One last move?
Don't worry. Our games always seem to end like this.
Or always start like this. Come, take a seat, my friend.
Knowing Lord Mortimer and how expensive his house is, that chess piece is probably made of like solid ivory and incredibly expensive.
A little nighttime stroll, Mr. President?
There's nothing like it for a good night's sleep.
Do not hesitate to ask a servant to show you back.
The corridors seem quite safe.
Peppermint, lime flower, and valerian. My miracle remedy when one can't get to sleep. A very good night to you, Mr. President.
Thank you. And to you too, sir.
Gonna have to lay off the white stuff.
I'm coming.
Right, we can investigate our room later. Let's go answer who I presume to be Washington.
Excuse me. Am I bothering you?
No, not in the least. Is something wrong?
I'm going to need your help. Do you remember the young lady we spoke of in the hall?
I bumped into her in the small salon before.
Well, she is the daughter of my friend, the Vice President, John Adams. But she is supposed to be dead.
Yeah, that's bizarre. Fair enough.
Good heavens.
Seems like an
I was
underreaction.
present at her funeral.
It is disturbing indeed.
Yes. I need to make sure it's her. That's where you come in. I want you to distract Elizabeth while I search her room. And perhaps get my hands on some important information. At least, I hope so. Elizabeth is in the small salon. If you hurry, you can still catch her. I just need 10 minutes.
But if my vision is true, there are two men nearby discussing very important issues, and one of them looks much like Mortimer. Washington is very kind, but I came to this island for my mother, not for his ghost stories.
So, I can spy on Napoleon and Mortimer, or I can help Washington. I don't think spying on Mortimer's going to work because it's, you know... I mean, it's Napoleon. Like, yeah, does it really matter what they're talking about? Let's go help Washington.
Count on me, sir.
Let's go
Thank
help
you,
the
my
OG.
friend. Keep Elizabeth downstairs as long as possible. She must not return to her room.
Trust me.
According to Washington, Lady Adams is in the small salon. I better hurry.
Okay, so I forgot to say in the last episode, if you are interested in this period of history at all, you know, the French Revolution and all that, then I would strongly recommend a video by Oversimplified History. You know, they do some great work over there, and their stuff is actually surprisingly accurate, despite the channel name. So I'll link the video below, and you know, their stuff and their channel is an absolutely, you know, great source if you're looking to jump off anywhere in history and do any of your own research. And Napoleon's rise to power is it's quite an interesting one, so I definitely recommend it. Not helping the stereotype of Herbie old
My
men, is
son.
he?
Oh, you are a godsend.
What's the matter, Your Eminence?
I believe Miss Adams may be in danger.
What do you mean?
Do you hear that? She is being manhandled in the small salon.
By whom?
I don't know exactly. A thug, a Frenchman, it seems. By the cut of his cloth, I'd say he's a member of the French Revolutionary Government. You should do something, my son.
Shit. I was supposed to make sure Adams wouldn't go back to her room. Don't worry, Your Eminence. I'll take care of it. Probably nothing to worry about.
Do you want me to call for help?
Please don't do anything. I'm sure with a little goodwill, everything will work out fine.
Surely the
Don't
servant should
wake
be
up the
keeping
whole
an eye
manor,
on her.
please.
Thank you, my son. May God watch over you.
Who do you think you are?
Me, sir.
If we were in France, I'd have sent you to the guillotine for what you just said.
Please, just let me go back to my room.
Hey, you! Stay out of it! This is none of your business. I'm gonna teach this little slut how to behave.
What the hell is going
jeez.
on?
Huh? I don't think you know who I am.
Stop. I beg you. I didn't mean to. Don't hit me, please, sir.
Shit. If I step in, Adams might just run back to her room. And if I do nothing, yes, Washington will have enough time to search, but this girl's gonna suffer. Damn it, what should I do?
Fuck.
You filthy whore!
I apologize. Have mercy. Please have mercy. No! No!
I apologize. Nah, nah, nah. Mercy, have mercy. Nah, nah, nah. Where's that smart mouth now? I'll teach you a little respect. Huh?
My mother told me often enough.
Fuck, I ran out of time.
Sometimes the end does justify the means.
I'd hoped I wouldn't have to apply that rule, but at least Washington
Oh,
will have
Jesus.
enough time.
Did you just hit her? So she's immune to being consolidated. Okay.
Please.
It's too late for that. Leave me alone.
Forgive me. He took me by surprise. I didn't think he'd really hit you.
Please, don't touch me.
I wasn't anywhere near you. So we let Christ. I'll be honest, I didn't think that would escalate that much. Oh. What a prick. What an asshole.
Well, did you get time to search the room?
Yes, I found out many things.
Good.
Did Elizabeth give you any trouble?
Elizabeth? No.
Well, you could have mentioned she was with a raving maniac, huh?
What do you mean?
She was with a Frenchman. He was about to beat her when I arrived.
What the devil are you talking about?
I thought he was gonna kill the poor girl.
Did you intervene?
I did what was necessary to give you enough time to search her room.
Good work, my friend. I knew that I could count on you.
So tell me, did you find any information?
Oh, yes. What I found is likely to upset you.
What do you mean by that?
Elizabeth is indeed the daughter of John Adams.
Why pass her off as dead?
I found her medical file. It appears that for many years, your mother was her personal doctor. From what I read, she behaved more like a butcher than a doctor.
What are you talking about? I'm not a child. What's going on here?
John believed that his daughter was possessed. He appealed to your mother to save her, but the treatment she inflicted on the poor child... My God.
Look, stop beating around the bush. What exactly did she do to her?
Do you believe your mother capable of torturing a child?
I mean, I'm going to have to say no.
My mother would never do something like that.
But she did. And with the blessing of the Order.
No, she wouldn't go that far. Prove it. Show me that file.
I left it in her room so as not to arouse suspicion.
My mother is not a monster.
I do not doubt that your mother meant well, but the techniques described in the file, it is pure torture.
Well, Washington has no reason to lie, although he might be over-analysing a little bit. But we don't want to piss him off, and he does seem a little bit upset, so he's probably quite easily to... it'll be easy to dishearten him, so let's accept his version of events.
Please, I need some time alone.
I have seen some horrors in my time, but if what is written in these damned documents is true, be brave, my boy.
I cannot believe we let that girl get beat up. I did not think he'd escalate that. I thought we'd have another opportunity to step in, but I didn't click the button in time. That's damn. As you saw earlier as well, we used a couple of the elixirs and stuff like that to get rid of the debuff.
That's not the right way. Your Eminence, what are you doing here?
I was worried about you, my son. How did it go with Miss Adams?
There's no reason to piss him off. Can I not just lie? That doesn't seem like a diversion, that just seems like pissing him off. And I don't want to say that. Shit. So I don't want to say this. Because then he'll know... I'm just going to have to say this, even though I don't want to.
Everything went well. There's no need to worry.
Which means...
The situation was more complex than it looked at first glance.
What?
Oh, okay.
The
that
poor
was all right.
child was indeed being bullied by a thug, wasn't she?
Let's just say you didn't have a complete picture of the situation, Your Eminence. Maybe it's because it's harder to feel things when one is sheltered behind the door.
No,
Now,
should have
listen
quit
to
while
me,
you
my
were
son.
ahead.
I went in search of the servants.
You weren't able to find them.
Stop rubbing it in.
No, and they are going to hear from me. When you need them most, you simply can't find them.
Anyway, Miss Adams is safe. Everything's fine.
There's literally no need for
No
that.
need to lose any sleep over it.
I see. Thank you, my son. My son, I have another problem. I wanted to speak to you about something important. Do you still have my letter on you? The one I gave you in the hall?
Why do you ask?
I have a name to add to it.
See?
Here
Very,
it is.
very obvious the game
Thank
would
you,
use
my
that as an
son.
example as to why you shouldn't
I see
open
that
it.
it's still sealed. I was right to put my trust in you, Louise. Now, give me 1 second, please. I can't imagine what would have happened if I hadn't added this name to the list. Please be sure to give this letter to Sarah the moment you see her.
You can count on it.
Have a good night.
With all the priests being persecuted, you think he would have an incredibly strong, anger towards the Napoleon and the French general who are part of the revolution. Right, is this our room?
Huh, that's me.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted. I better go to bed. I'll search my room tomorrow. If Mother stayed here right before me, you never know. And Mortimer had better show up.
I must say, the alternative paths, how could I have done that? I could have had a remarkable encounter. See, that really makes me want to go back and do it again, because I'm really intrigued as into what the remarkable encounter could have been, but I have no idea. So, but yeah, I think we'll probably end the episode off there. Thank you everyone for watching. I do really appreciate anyone who watches these videos. If you want the episodes to be longer and leave everything in, or if you want them to be really condensed and edited down, then just let me know. So thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you next time.